Model of Connecticut Hockey had the chance to sit down with Liz Leyden, head coach of the Loomis Chaffee girls hockey team. Liz played and won 3 national championships with Middlebury College. Let's meet the coach. Hi Liz, thanks for sitting down with us today.
Thanks for coming.
So can you tell me what your role is here at Loomis Chaffee School?
I am the head varsity girls ice hockey coach here. In addition to coaching hockey, I am a sophomore boys dorm head, and I also teach in the history and social science department. I teach AP economics and intro economics.
How did you get interested in playing hockey?
My grandfather was the team doctor for Cornell University when I grew up in Ithaca. Went to every single Cornell men's game, a bunch of the Cornell women's games, and then I have aunts and uncles that are probably 15 years older than me that I watch them play hockey. And I have 2 younger brothers, and the middle brother, when he decided he was starting to play in kindergarten, I convinced my parents to let me play as well.
So how old were you when you started playing?
I was 8 years old, which is a little older than I think a lot of kids start, but I had skated before, and really, the first time I played, I loved it. I played for the Ithaca Shooting Stars initially, which is just celebrated their 40th anniversary, so it's a pretty long-standing girls program.
So do you think that growing up playing youth hockey with girls gave you some advantages as opposed to playing with all boys?
I think in some ways, you have that camaraderie in the locker room, which is a huge part of it, and I think also just the confidence of being able to carry the puck and really be surrounded by your true peers is a huge advantage.
For college, you attended Middlebury College. Did you play in college?
I did play in college. I played all 4 years.
Did you win any championships?
We did. We won 3. We won my sophomore, junior, and senior year.
And what was that like?
It was unbelievable. Every year was different. As a sophomore, we hosted it at Middlebury, so that was pretty neat. And then junior year, I was actually in Elmira, New York, so about 40 minutes away from my family. And then senior year was probably our best team, and we won 3-1 in the championship game against the same team we had played the year before, and it was pretty incredible.
Do you still keep in touch with a lot of those teammates?
2 of my best friends live about half an hour from here, so I get to see them a lot, and I also keep in touch with my coach regularly. I talk to him weekly, whether it's about hockey or something Middlebury related, but just making sure I stay in touch.
So do you look up a lot to him, and have you learned a lot coaching-wise from him?
I definitely have. Whenever I have a coaching question, he's the person I call and talk to, and he definitely has been a huge influence on my life.
Are there other coaches that have helped you to become a better coach?
Definitely, there's a lot of them. I think that every time I've coached at a camp, it's kind of trying to talk to other coaches, particularly college coaches, and pick their brain to see how they're doing things and what's new and what's different.
How long have you been here at Loomis?
This is my 4th year here at Loomis, and before Loomis I was at another prep school for 3 years, and prior to that I was in college.
What got you interested in being a coach?
My college coach at Middlebury, Bill Mandigo, I was looking for a job as I was graduating. He thought I would really fit into the prep school world, teaching, coaching. So he kind of gave me my first lead into jobs at my old school, Hebron Academy. From there, I kind of just took off, and I found out I really loved it.
So what's your favorite thing about being a prep school coach?
I think it's the interaction between the players. It's my role with them and seeing them interact with their peers, and part of it's the hockey piece, but a large part of it is just seeing them on campus and seeing how they do well in the classroom and other sports, kind of the big picture of what their lives are like. I'm someone that likes to be active and moving around, and with prep school you're constantly doing that. Every couple hours it's something new that I'm doing.
And what advice can you give to Connecticut hockey coaches?
I think one of the biggest things is to really make sure the kids stay moving in practices and to make sure it stays fun. I think that one of the concerns with hockey, in general, working with USA Hockey, is that there's a lot of dropout rate. There's kids that, they stop playing after a couple years, and so keeping it fun, making sure that the kids are working hard, but learning the game is what's going to keep kids in the sport.
How do you keep things fun for your players?
We do a lot of small cross-ice games, so a lot of small competitions. I don't really believe in kind of waiting and having people stand and watch. I want everybody constantly moving, and I think that keeps it fun, but also just making sure everything's a competition.
You work with a lot of high-level players here at Loomis. Do you find that using the ATM model with those players is still beneficial?
I think it really is. I think that the best players still need to practice skills, and they need to practice skills a lot. It should be around, in my mind, about 50% of the time where it's skill work. And if it's less than that, if you're not practicing your skills, they're going to get worse and deteriorate. So it's continual focus on skills.
Do you use stations at your own practices? We
do. We're really fortunate. In addition to myself, I have 2 assistant coaches. So we've got 3 coaches on the ice every day, and so we break up into stations a couple times a week and really focus specifically on skills and specific and small things.
And have you seen an improvement in your players because of that?
I think so. I think, there's always this desire to want to really teach systems, but at the end of the day, the players with the best skill are able to do and execute in games better than anybody else.
What advice can you give to Connecticut hockey parents?
Say let kids be kids. I think that's a big thing. It's a bumpy road and everyone is not destined to be the best hockey player, but I think playing hockey makes everybody stronger and really allows that camaraderie that you don't see in other sports because of the locker room atmosphere. And so, make sure that they're having fun and working hard and let them decide where they want to go with it.
And what makes Loomis unique?
I think the balance between academics and athletics at Loomis here is really special. This is a really good place to be a student athlete, and particularly a female student athlete. We've sent girls on to play not just hockey, but other sports at the highest level academic institutions. And having that balance of the academics and the athletics is something that really makes Loomis unique.
What are you looking for in players to come to Loomis Chaffee School?
I'm looking for girls that want to be the best student athletes they can be. I think part of it is the hockey piece, and that's, I'm looking for girls that can really skate and have the good skills. I'm confident that we can teach the game if they come in with the right skill set. But more than that, it's kind of the big picture. How are they going to do in the classroom? If they're not going to be able to handle academically, it's not someone that's going to be a good fit. What other interests are they? Are they going to play other sports? Have they played other sports? Really, it's can you be a part of this community, which is not a per se science, and try to figuring that out, but a lot of times it's having that conversation and seeing if the family and the girl want to be here.
What advice can you give to Connecticut hockey players?
I think that there's a limited amount of ice time. I think with soccer, with field hockey, you can go into any field and play around. With hockey, because of the ice, it's harder. So every time you're on the ice, make the most of it and watch hockey. I think that the people that watch hockey the most are the ones that also are able to have an opportunity to learn more about the game.
Thank you for taking the time to sit down with us and share your background with the Connecticut hockey community.
Thank you, this was great.